Welcome in Pesky Pole YouTube channel, and we are summarizing, yes, that's the word, the 1941 replay season, PC replay baseball. What a game, what a game. The project is over, and I've been meaning to do a video of this for a while now. I've been real busy. And I tell you what, it's great satisfaction when you can finish up a project, a season-long project, and I played all the Red Sox games, and obviously. And I've got another season right now, the 91 season, that is almost done. So when that season ends, I'm going to have a little fun here with the compiling of stats of my multiple seasons. I'm going to kind of go in that later on. But let's kind of go down PC Replay Baseball this season. And I'm going to go month by month. The cool thing about this game is you can kind of go back in time and recap the season. Like you're looking right now, April 30th. We're looking at April's numbers and the standings in April. Um, and you know the final standings, I know what they are, and I can show them to you right now. We're going to show them to you eventually, but you can kind of go through and see this. So once again, I've been a few videos on this before. My goal for the season was to try and see if I can get Ted Williams to hit over 400. And win the MVP or the Triple Crown, maybe, and to see how long I could keep Boston in the race. Now, the Red Sox in real life were 17 games back. They went, in real life, they went 84 and 70. And the Yankees, of course, won. Yankees beat Brooklyn in the World Series, and so forth. Um, what happened, though, as you'll see, is that the Red Sox played out their mind for most of the season, and I was involved in the pennant race. And so we'll kind of go over that pennant race in a second. So first off, in real life, Ted Williams. It's funny. I'm playing a 1954 season as well, and this happened similar in 1954. But in 41, Ted Williams broke his ankle in spring training, and because of that, he did not play much in April. And so we're playing with as played lineups. Now Williams is on the roster in April, and he did pinch hit in real life. And so in April, I tried to be realistic. Okay, he wasn't starting any games. I think he might have started one game in April, end of April. Let me check that though in a second. So he's a guy with a bad ankle. He's on the roster. He's not starting. So I would pinch hit. I would pinch hit him, but I would pinch hit him for the pitcher, and I wouldn't put him in the field. Okay, obviously, if he's not playing every day, he can't play the field. You can't run. If he got on base, I would have to use a pinch runner for him. And so I would pinch hit him, but I had to kind of have a plan in place about who's going to pinch run for him, and then so forth and so on. And so I try to make it realistic. I look back at some newspapers.com to find out kind of just what he was doing and pinch hit wise. But it was a cool thing to have that you knew you had in your back pocket. You knew if you got a game close and you had him sitting there on the bench to get in the bat for you. It was pretty cool. So that was April. The big story in April was Dom DiMaggio, not Joe DiMaggio, but Dom DiMaggio at 484 in the month of April. And he was the guy kind of keeping the Red Sox going. Joe Cronin, who's the manager, also with 4 home runs. Charlie Keller of the Yankees with 9 home runs in April. Pretty big. You see Bob Feller right there for the Indians. Off to a good start. Nationally, the Brooklyn Dodgers, who won in real life, off to a really good start. Johnny Vandermeer with 37 strikeouts. We'll get to him later on. Well, we'll get to Johnny Vandermeer later on. Johnny V. So that's kind of how April looks. Okay. Red Sox, kind of a weird standings here. They're a half game back at the Yankees. So let's kind of fast forward and go to the end of May. And at this point, Teddy is playing pretty much every day. So end of May, the Red Sox find themselves in first place, 26 and 12. Dom DiMaggio, the story once again, hitting 407, leading the American League right now. Ted Williams does not show up on that thing. Not enough at bats yet, okay, for Ted Williams. And in May, he didn't really have a great May. So he didn't have a great May on top of that. He's not among the leaders in May and so forth. He played most of the games, but he's not playing at full strength. Joe DiMaggio with 45 runs batted in. Charlie Keller with 15 home runs. And the Red Sox with a 1 game lead. The Indians are 3 back. They're a threat. At this point now, Pittsburgh and Brooklyn are pretty much in a dead heat there. The Reds are 2 back. St. Louis is 10 back, which is kind of surprising. They're a pretty good team. Johnny Vandermeer now with a 1.46 ERA, strikeouts, and he's second in wins. We'll get back to Johnny Vandermeer later on, okay? But having a big year. Let's go to June. So we fast forward to the end of June, to June 30th. And now the Red Sox have a 3 game lead. Pennant Fever is sweeping the hub. 47-19, a 3 game lead over the Yankees. And there we see him, Ted Williams, leading the league in hitting at 411. So he's got enough at bats on to qualify for their batting title. He's hitting at 411. He hit 433 in June. Okay. Home run wise, he's not up there. He's not got a lot of power right now so far. But 433 in June. As you see, Joe Cronin with 7 home runs in the month of June. So Cronin having a big year. He's got 16 home runs, tied with Keller for home runs, and he's 5 back in RBI. So Joe Cronin having a year out of his mind. And we'll get to kind of what he did in real life too. He's the player manager having a big year. Over in the National League, Pittsburgh surprising things with a 2.5 game lead over the Brooklyn Dodgers. And of course, Johnny Vandermeer having an epic season, and we'll get back to him later on. Let's go to July. What can happen in July? I got an all-star break in there. Let's go to July 31st. And Ted Williams is leading the league still at 416. Joe Cronin with 22 home runs, tied with Rudy York. And DiMaggio, 97 runs batted in, Cronin 90. The Red Sox now have fallen out of first place, at 3.5 games back of the Yankees. But look at that record, 62-34. Okay, they were 84-70 in real life. So, in order to, match that record, they have to go with 22-36 the rest of the way. Play pretty bad baseball to match their record. So they're playing above their skis. But so are the Yankees. And that's the problem. Williams at 430 in July. Okay, once again, home run wise, not up there. He's not up there for home runs. We'll get to that later on, though. Nationally, the Reds lead Brooklyn by 2 games, and once again, Johnny Vandermeer having a season. Pete Reiser. Pete Reiser, I read his book. I think I mentioned it before, but Leo DeRocha, who managed the Brooklyn Dodgers in 41, there's a book by Robert Creamer about 1941 that I read while I played this season, which I recommend you guys do. You guys play these replays that you didn't like. I wasn't alive for this, okay? So I'm playing this kind of to educate myself. I know about Ted Williams, but discovering other guys, like Cecil Travis, for example, the Washington Senators. I had no clue who that guy was until I played this thing, and then he's having a great year in 3D8. And I'm like sitting there reading about this guy. The book is really good, and Leo DeRocha loved Pete Reiser. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I think it's Pete Reiser. But of course, DeRocha later on would manage Willie Mays, and he would say that Pete Reiser was every bit Willie Mays, and if not better. I'm not sure he ever wanted to say better. I think he said he's in the same category in terms of guys he's managed. The problem was that Pete got injured a lot, played kind of recklessly, dove in the walls, and he got hurt and kind of never was the same. One of those stories, a lot of stories like that in baseball. Eric Davis, think of, guys like that, Tony Canigliaro, who had injuries or something happened that kind of ruined their potential or ruined their Hall of Fame kind of career. So that's that right there. Now let's go to the end of August. Let's see what happens. August 34th. Williams hitting 410 now. Okay, and Teddy gets his power back now. So Ted hits 11 home runs in August, and he's now leading in RBIs. He's leading in batting average, and in home runs, he's not far behind. I don't want to go into Ted Williams' numbers right now because I'll show you his whole stats. We're trying to leave a little bit of suspense here. Just a little suspense. In the American League pennant race, the Red Sox have fallen to 12 and a half back. The pitching basically has caught up with the Red Sox. Okay, a lack of pitching. Yankees keep on rolling along, but still, once again, 84 and 70 was the Red Sox real record. 82 and 49 at this point. I have to go 2 and 21 to match my record. So playing above their head, and really that's because of Joe Cronin. And Don DiMaggio is having a good year too. We'll bring up Don later on, but those two guys are really making the difference in terms of the record, I believe, on there. Reds lead Brooklyn by a game and a half, and look at Johnny Vandermeer again. We'll get to Johnny again, Johnny V. So let's go to September. End of September. No, end of the season. So here's the deal. Actually go to schedule. I kind of gave it away. So going in, this is the famous September 28th day. This is the famous doubleheader. Okay. And Williams trailed Rudy York by 2 home runs for the Triple Crown. And as you can see, in game one doubleheader, Teddy went deep twice to tie him. Now, if you tie, and if you tied all three Triple Crown categories, you win the Triple Crown. They give it to you. So he ties him right there at 34. And the rest is from 11 to 1. Here, this is Lefty Grove's last ever appearance, by the way. Lefty Grove had a really good year, 16 and 5. He doesn't homer here. Chicago's playing Detroit and Rudy York. Rudy York came up. They're down 10-0. I switched over to this game. One of the great things about this game is you can play your game and have the other games playing in the background. You can switch to them. And so he came up with 2 outs, about a ninth inning, in a game that is well over. But the Triple Crown's on the line. He came up to the plate with 34 home runs. A home run and no Triple Crown for Ted Williams. Not a home run, and Teddy gets Triple Crown, and he struck out. So Teddy wins Triple Crown. He hits 415, so the 400 is never really in doubt. Like he got down to like let me see here. Let's kind of go through the days here. He was at 410 and 22nd. Did he drop below 410? I don't think he did. 413. Let's go through September. So he's at 408 September 1st. And I think that's the lowest he really got. Once he crossed over the 400 mark, he really kind of stayed above like the 406 number. He was at 406 a couple of times. The one time I forgot, I think it was in August, he was at 406 for like 4 days in a row, which is pretty cool to be at that 406 number, kind of a famous number. But he never really 408 here, 411, 416 had a big day there. 416, 414, 411, 413, 413, 413, 410, 411, 409. And at this point, I was trying to count down like how many more hits he needed to basically clinch 400. In terms of how many bats. He walks a ton. Like he walks like once, twice a game. He walks a ton. We'll get to his numbers like 410. So he doesn't really does he get below 410 again? Let's see if he does. 410 on the 21st, with a week to go. Less than a week to go, 413, 410. It doesn't really get below there again. And of course, he ends at 415. He has a big day on the 28th. On the 28th, he goes, and this one here, he goes 3 for 5. So in real life, he went 6 for 8 in the two games. So 3 for 5 here, and then he went 3 for 5 here. So he went 6 for 10 on the last day to hit 415. So it's a pretty damn good day for Teddy Ballgame. Pretty good guy. That's good. So let's go pull the Teddy now. Let's pull him up his numbers. Take a look. So he played the 7 more games than he did in real life. And so what happened is I pinch hit with him during April, probably more than he did in real life. And so that was probably the big difference. I think he had a couple of off days too where I pinch hit him. So if you pinch hit, it's kind of the game. But I didn't play him after the pinch hit. So you got to learn a pinch hit. So at bats was 492 to 456. And that's got to do mainly with his walks than anything else. So he didn't walk as much. Where's that number in the walks? So 415, 406. Yeah, he actually had a lower OBP. He walked more in real life. And that's why that at bats is screwy on that in terms of like he didn't bat them any more time like plate appearances. Let me go into all right, here we go. So the top is the replay. So he had 19 less walks. Okay, so plate appearances were pretty close 625, 606. He got up 19 more times. So I guess I pinch hit. I'm not sure why he got so. Well, that could be what it is. I mean, 7 more games to pinch hit, but that's because the Red Sox scored more runs. The Red Sox team, we were much more offensive because of Cronin and Don DiMaggio. He got more at bats. I think that's what it is, right? So he subbed 18. So here it goes: 18 games to sub, 18 plate appearances. He got one at bat in those games. Okay, so as a pinch hitter, 333, hit one home run and that stuff there too. But he drove 152, okay, which basically crushed his real life because he drove 120 in real life, and that's because Dom DiMaggio and those guys getting on base. Um, March and April at 538, 365, 433, 430, 397, 438. So his worst month was May. He had 365. So pretty damn good. Pretty good. He has 335 total bases, or 357. Which, by the way, puts in perspective Jim Rice that year at 78 had 402 total bases. So that's Teddy Ballgame. That's Ted. That's Teddy. Let's go into the highlights. This is pretty cool. I mentioned before about well, let's do hitting streaks first. So everyone asked me, Joe DiMaggio, do they have a long hitting streak? No. So this one here tracks all the hitting streaks above 15 games. All right, Taffy Wright was the leader this year with 27. Johnny Myers 26. Dom DiMaggio had a 22 hitting streak, which is a big story. I think I made a video about that too. I think I jinxed him actually. I think I put a video up there. But 22 game hitting streak, Dom DiMaggio. Can he be the DiMaggio who gets a streak and of course next day he goes over 4? I jinxed him. I'm sorry, Dom. Lou Finney, 19. Lou had a good year. Rudy York, Triple Crown. He almost won the home run thing. Bobby Dorr, Jim Tabor. We hit, man. I tell you what, we hit. Don DiMaggio again, 17 game. Charlie Keller, the Yankees. Hogue, Cecil Travis. That guy got hit, man. I never even knew who that guy was until I played this thing. McCoy, Appling, Moses, Stan Hack, Chapman, McCoskey, Judnick, Danning, Radcliffe, Medewick, and Labs. No Joe DiMaggio. I think he had a 12-game hitting streak. Like he had a bunch of 12-game hitting streaks. I mean, he had a good year. I mean, I'll pull up Joe in a second. Let's go to Joey Joe. Let's go check out Joseph. Joe had a good year. All right, 343, 20 homers, 138. 10 less homers than he had in real life. So I guess he underperformed a little bit. He had a 5-hit game, but it wasn't special. Definitely wasn't MVP caliber. We'll get that in a second, too. All right, let's go with the highlights because I want to show you something else, too. All right, so pitching. Let's do this. 4+ multi-home run games. So Joe Cronin had 6 multi-home run games. Cronin a beast. 349, 32, 142. That was why the Red Sox outperformed because he doubled his home runs. Now, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. Like, you think that's unrealistic? I mean, these are dice still. Like, these are like it's an open engine. Like, if this is out of the park baseball, I love out of the park baseball. Because it's closed engine, I'd be like, oh man, that's kind of weird, you know. But because like it's dice, like you see it happening, and I could see the dice roll. I could see where like 1 through 5 is like an out, and 6 is a home run, and it rolls in a 6, you know, and 2 through 5 is a single, and 6, like the dice just were rolling for him, and so I kind of like. I mean, I don't like all the guys like that, but I like having that guy that goes, man, he like out like had a year, had a special year. So I don't mind that as much. I don't. That's pretty good. Grand slam. There's a bunch of grand slams. 3 home run games. Let's do that. Mickey did one and Teddy did it, which is pretty cool. And that was against the Senators on July 6th. Pulled that little box score there. That's what he did. Teddy ball game. He's fun to play with, man. He's fun. I'm gonna do another series. I'm gonna do 48 with him. I'm doing 54 right now with the New York Giants. Willie Mays. I mean, Ted Williams was in that season too. He's out for the first month as well. Broke a collarbone. The Red Sox team is horrible. That's a horrible team. So I'm not going to play a whole lot of that. But 48 I had 1948 season. I'm probably going to play that here in the next. I don't know. I might start that next year. We'll see. All right. So pitching. There's no hitters this year. My 91 replay has got no hitters. This one does not have no hitters. But let's go to one-hit games. I mentioned Johnny Vandermeer before, Johnny V. So this is pretty cool. Now, if you know Johnny Vandermeer, if you know baseball, you know his claim to fame was he threw back-to-back no-hitters. In our replay, he threw back-to-back one-hitters. Okay? June 16th and June 18th. Now, one of these, okay, yeah. The first one was broken up with 2 outs in the ninth. Okay? Then he starts the next game. He gives up a space hit to the first hitter he faces, and then throws. Then he gets 27 outs. Well, he walks some guys there too. So he gets 27 outs. So basically, he throws a no hitter in a way. Like I know it's not no hitter, give a hit, but boom, from that point on, does that. So 18 innings, 2 hits. 18 strikeouts, 6 walks. Um, so unreal, unreal. Um, so back-to-back wonders, pretty cool, pretty cool thing that happened. These are the cool things that happen in these replays. Like I had fun with this replay. I learned a lot. I mean, I know the main guys. I know, but watching them, it's like you get a chance to kind of see how these guys play in a way. It's cool. These are guys my grandfather watched. My grandfather was, God, 1941. He was, you know, 23 years old. He went to World War II. He was a tank driver. So it's cool stuff. Complete game shutout. There's a bunch there. 12 strikeout games. Let's go to 4 plus 10 strikeout games. Vandermeer had 17 10 strikeout games. Feller had 7. All right. Long games. I played a 21 inning game against the A's. 21 innings. And we won that one 6-5. Look at that one right there. Teddy did not play in this game because Teddy pinch hit. Came up one time 0 for 1. And see, he pitched it for Skeeter Newsom, and I pulled him back out, put Tom Carey in. He was done for the day. So that was a crazy game. So 21 innings there, and I think that's my record in that stuff. So once again, cool game, cool project, doing that stuff. What else I got to do? So Red Sox. Okay. Oh, I got the National League. The Reds win the National League. Okay. Brooklyn faded down the stretch, and of course the Reds won in '39 National League, and then they won the '40, I think, too. They lost to the Tigers. By the way, the Tigers in 1940 won the American League. They were horrible this year, just because they lost to their Greenberg went to war early, I believe. And this was, I think he left early. Just like the whole team was basically gone. So that's that. So Reds, Yankees in the World Series. Vandermeer trying to win the World Series. So let's kind of go to the 41 playoffs. Game 1, Yankees win 4-0. Marius Russo got the win over Bucky Walters. Now, why they don't start Vandermeer in game 1? See, that's a good example right there. And I was going to mess around with this a little bit, but Walters had a good year too. But they went Vandermeer for game 2. I mean, I was going to change it, but I was like, you know what? I mean, that could be, they're going to save Vandermeer for game 2. So 4-0 there. Vandermeer comes out, gets the win. So his dream season continues. He's won in the World Series. He does a good job there. So it's 1-1. Yankees win the next one 10-8. Joe DiMaggio goes deep in Crosley Field. Let's see in the Crosley Field there. Yankees win this one 3-1. Spud Chandler throws a beauty. 3-1. They score. That Spud Chandler next in the RBI too. So what a day for him. Next in the winning run too. So 3-1 Yanks. Sunday, Crosley Field. We got that one already. Monday, Yankees stay or Crosley Field still. Yankees win in 10 innings, 2-1. Take the series, and they're the world champs. So the Yankees kind of hold serve as they did in real life. They win that series. So it's 2-1. And that's it. If you have any questions too, because I always forget, like, oh, check this stuff out. Check, there's a bracket there. Highlights in the World Series, complete game shutout. 2 guys there. And that's it. You see all the seasons I have. Good Lord. That's the kind of Red Sox final summary page. 96-58. So we won 12 more games than they did in real life. We finished 15 games back. They finished 17 games back in real life. The Yankees went 111-43. All right. Our offense was unreal. We first in runs scored, first in batting average, first in on base, second in home runs. I believe that's second to the Yankees. I think the Yankees won the home runs. Third in stolen bases. We ran a little bit. The Red Sox did. DiMaggio and some guys, Jim Tabor. Runs against third. So our pitching is pretty good. Earned run average third. Whip third. Um, and really, we were up. We were actually better than that. Then we kind of imploded last. We didn't really implode. We won 96 games. It's not a really implode job. Just couldn't keep up with the Yankees. And the Yankees. Here's the other thing too. Let me go check this out. This is a problem. So this is pretty cool too. So you can kind of see. We won 7 in a row at the end of the year, by the way. So 7 meaningless games in a way. Yankees won 5 in a row. Um, we sucked in one-run games. 19 and 27. That's a problem. There's the real records right there. Um, the Reds were 88 and 66. They won 93. Brooklyn won 100 games. So Brooklyn really underachieved. They underachieved. So that's kind of a different thing there too. So head to head, this is the issue. So how you read this? We beat the White Sox 18 times, lost to them 4 times. Beat Cleveland 10 times, lost to them 12 times. So 10 and 12 against them. He played every team 22 times. Beat Detroit 15 times out of 7 times. Okay. The Yankees beat me 16 times out of 22 times. And a lot of those games were like heartbreaking losses too. Like they didn't really kill me. Like they weren't like blowouts. It was games where I had a 2-run lead in the seventh inning, a 3-run lead in the seventh inning, and all of a sudden I just could not get enough outs. Didn't have enough guys in the pen. My starting pitchers just didn't have enough in them to get outs, and I tried to overthink things. And it became like a mental thing too, because you're playing the Yankees, like you get a 2-run lead, and I may try to mix and match a little bit, and that backfires to hell. And so, like it was tough. They're really good. So 6 and 16. So I finished out 15 games. I mean, that's 10 right there. Who else? So everybody else I handled. I mean, the Indians I did not. So I mean, that's kind of the thing. Right? The Indians and the Yankees are two best teams in the American League besides us. And I had losing records. I went 16 and 28. Um, and that's the thing, man. I couldn't beat the good teams, which is kind of what the Red Sox do. Red Sox beat up on the bad teams, and then you can't handle the good teams. That's kind of the problem. Um, Brooklyn. So they went 9 and 13 against the Reds. Who did they struggle against? Like Pittsburgh owned them. No, that's not true. They won 12. They won 12 and 10. That's not bad. They killed Boston. I'm trying to think of some big numbers here. Let's look at the Yankees real quick. Let's see what the Yankees did. The Yankees beat Washington 18 times. Beat the Indians 17 times. Beat us 16 times. Beat the A's 19 times. Good Lord Almighty. The White Sox they struggled with though. See, I owned the White Sox 18-4. The Yankees didn't struggle. They had a winning record. Um, so I love looking at this stuff. I love kind of looking at the breakdown of the records of this stuff. So um, do a little leader thing real quick. You can see all this stuff. Oh, and by the way, so if you're asking who won MVP, like it doesn't tell you. Like it does, but it doesn't. Let me explain this real quick. So I got the encyclopedia, which is um, which is great. I'll show the encyclopedia. I was gonna wait on the encyclopedia, but I'm not. So the encyclopedia, There it is. All right. This is why I love this game. And you probably heard me on Facebook asking people like, "Hey, man, what's the encyclopedia like in this new game? Hey, what's the encyclopedia like?" And and maybe I'm the only person that likes this stuff, but this is the best encyclopedia of any game. It's clean. I love it. I've only got one season in here right now. Okay, but I got a few more that are almost close to ending that I'm gonna add to this to be pretty cool. But it's got all the stuff in here. So like you go to your franchises, okay? All right, I played one season. We've got no pennants, no playoffs, no championships. That's my lead. I played one season, so you see all these numbers already. But see, what's going to happen is when I add 91 in here, it's going to change. Okay, year by year, the whole thing. Now, if I click on Ted, okay, it tells you MVP 1941, Triple Crown 1941. Okay, and so when I play 54 and add 54 in here, you'll see his numbers will change. It's really cool. Okay, so if I go to player awards, right? So this is where you see that. And I'm not sure if the encyclopedia, if you have to buy the encyclopedia to get the MVP awards. But Ted won the MVP, and he should have won the MVP for crying. He should have won in real life too in 41. But Pete Reiser wins it for the National League, deserving. Okay, let's go to MVP pitching or signing award, whatever you want to call it. Feller and Vandermeer. Vandermeer, I would hope would win it. Good lord, what a year he had. Feller was great there too. Triple Crown batting. There it is. Ted Williams got one. So we'll see. As I play more seasons and add this to it, like it will create your own history. That's what I love. It creates your own history. It creates a document of all the projects you've done, season projects for PC Replay Baseball. And second and 10 football is the same thing. I mean, it's great. It is great. Triple Crown pitching, no one did that. People came close though. Feller and Vandermeer were real close, and they missed out on a couple things there. Um, Home run leaders. So you can kind of do this hitting streaks. And these are all the hitting streaks right here. So as you play more and more games, more and more seasons, you can kind of see it's like see where these guys go. Now, obviously, the Red Sox are going to lead a lot of my encyclopedias because I tend to play seasons where the Red Sox are good. But I mean, not always. I mean, I'm playing the 1954 season because the New York Giants and the Red Sox are horrible. So it won't, there'll be some seasons they stink. But for the most part, batting average leader. Oh, so that's the leader. Let me see with a career. I'm still learning. Okay, career batting. That's what I want to see. Career batting. So this is pretty cool. So all-time batting average. So it's one season, but all-time batting average. So home run leader. So right now, those are the home run leaders of all time of all my projects I played. Now that will change here soon, which is cool. Um, Pitching. So ERA, wins. That's you can see that stuff. Shutouts, complete games, the all-time save leader who was 10. Hey, Mike Reba, the Red Sox, it's all-time save leader, pretty cool. Um, Strikeouts, Feller. So like this will breathe as a living, breathing. It will change each time. So pretty cool. I love this game. It's my favorite game. It's my favorite game, and I'm sure you guys get sick of me talking about it on Facebook, but it's my favorite game. And not that there's other good games. I mean, there's a lot of good games, and I don't like to denigrate any game and say, "Oh, that game sounds good." But to me, it's as close to perfect as it gets. Um, and it's not perfect. No game's perfect, but it's close. I mean, it's close. I can't think of anything I don't like. I mean, well, there's one thing. There's only one thing I don't like, and that's the seasons involved. It needs more seasons, but that's gonna get fixed. I mean, they're putting out more seasons. It'd be one thing if they stopped putting out seasons; it would really suck. But they need more seasons in the '90s. They need more seasons in the '80s, which is my wheelhouse as a kid. They need a 1990 season. They need a 95 season, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. We need no more years. We need Pedro years. We need '01, '02, '03, '04, of course. They have '05 all the way through the present day, and we need '80s. We need '81. Put a little strike year out there. It'd be pretty cool. '82 just came out. We need '83. We need '86 really bad. '87, '88, '89. So, I mean, they're not far away. They get those in. It's probably about how many seasons is that? Like maybe 15 seasons. And I know they're busy. They're putting up a new season every year too. So the previous season. But that's the only thing I can think of. Everything else is perfect. Everything else is perfect. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. 41 replay. I'm going to do a 91 summary here in probably another month or so when that one's done. I got seasons I bought, by the way. So you guys know 41. I've got 48, 51, 54, 61, 64. Is that 64? Yeah, 64. 67, 75, 77, 78, 80, 82, 85, 91, 93. Um, that's '05, '05, '07, uh, 10, 13, and 21. So, I mean, they're expensive. I mean, 25 bucks a 25 bucks a shot. You can do the math, but it's worth it. The amount of enjoyment I get out of this game, entertainment wise, and how much I spend in the game. I mean, break it down per day, per hour of enjoyment. You can kind of rationalize to yourself it's worth it. So, um, great game. If you haven't played it yet, try it. If you need help or have questions, um, let me know. I played this game long enough now. I can kind of help you out with that stuff too. Other thing I like too, it takes no time to get all these graphics in here. Like it's a quick download. You're not gonna worry about like finding pictures, putting them in, finding the logos, and that can be fun though too. That can be fun. People enjoy that stuff. I enjoy it sometimes too out of the park baseball, but sometimes you just want to like play. You just want it to look all good and not do all that crap. Um, so it's a good game. Good game. All right, guys. That's it for me. Have a good night.